I'd like to call the Board of Selectmen's meeting on July 10th to order at 5:14 p.m. Roll call. Donald Hutchin here.
Beth Boudreaux here.
Scott Pryor here.
We will now do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's like a race. Alright, so it looks like we're going to start off with some non-public under RSA 91-3, paragraph 2 under B for hiring an employee.
Sounds great. I'll second that.
We're going to do another roll call. Donald Hutchin, say aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
I also vote yes.
So we are now in non-public.
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public.
I second that.
Roll call. Donald Hutchin, aye.
Beth,
Sorry, Beth. Go ahead.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
I also vote yes.
We are now out of non-public.
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes.
Second.
Wait. Let's get the minutes sealed.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye. Why? I mean, I told them they could come in if they couldn't hear us.
Morning,
guys.
Morning.
Oh, it's pouring out.
It's pouring.
It is. Goodness.
We're not that far past this. Sit right up front if you want. Sit right up front if you
Pull some
want. Front row
chairs
seats. Whatever.
Where are my shoes?
I don't know.
Oh, up there. All right. Let me put in the out.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, hope the windows are up. I don't even remember if mine are up. I guess it doesn't matter now.
Is that hail?
When did this like even start?
Look at the size of
I
that.
mean, like I didn't even hear about it.
Yeah, I just saw. I hope it's. No, it's not hail. It's rain.
Okay.
It's alright. I got insurance. Just rain.
Not in the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna move along here. Citizens Forum, anybody? Sure. Come on up.
Tim Colby, Bryant Road. I was just wondering, I called the town like a week or so ago, and I think I left a message for you, and wondering if the road's going to get graded or not. And she said they've started, but then I text Charlie Pease, and let me just pull this up, and I asked if my road got graded or York rake, because there's no tire tracks from the grader, you know. He said, yes, it did get graded and York raked. I said, well, the last snowstorm, the plow went down and, you know, made those chatter marks. Those chatter marks are still there. And I've got pictures, and I talked to Charlie. I said, first thing I said, is it graded or York raked? He says, it's York raked and graded. I said, okay, thank you. I was just wondering why the plow marks are still in there if the grader is supposed to smooth out the road and the York rake is supposed to smooth out the road. He says he didn't think it was from the plow marks. I'm not sure, this is him quoting, I'm not sure if the grader did that or the York rake. Well, if the York rake and the grader are supposed to smooth out the roads, either way, if it was a plow that they didn't dig down deep enough, or why is the road still like a washboard? And I said, well, and I said to him, I said, I'm not trying to beat you up, but why as a taxpayer are we grading the roads and York raking them at the same time? The last 20 years, the person who did it never had to have a... Then he said, the last quote he sent me is, we used the York rake before without grading. Well, my road was already graded, and regardless if the snowplow made them and he didn't grade it enough, or the York rake or the grader made those ruts.
Is this,
Bryant Road.
yeah,
Right
I
by,
know. Well, here's my question though. Are we talking, he got graded after, did your road recently supposedly get graded?
The whole town got graded and he's left, right? He's already got his check and he's left.
Okay.
Talco.
Why we keep talking about plow trucks? Because the winter's over.
Because I can take you up there. The last
still
couple
don't-
snowstorms was really, you know,
So they
soft.
never took care of that when they went down and, they never took care with a plow messed up the road.
Exactly. Well, in the middle of...
I'm just trying.
Yeah, there's 3 spots on my road, and I can show you pictures real quick on this if you want.
No, I believe it.
Of the roads like washboard, and it comes out of it. Like, I mean, my drive was the same way. Like when the last couple snowstorms were so soft,
Right.
everybody dug in. You could feel the plow come down. So Charlie says it wasn't from the snowplow; it was from the York rake or the grader. Well, if the York rake and the grader is supposed to smooth out the road, they left it in worse shape than it was. But like I said, I've been there 18 years, and I mean, I'm pretty observant of what comes down the road, and I didn't see, and I'm in the construction business myself, and I've never seen any tire track. I live in the dead end on the right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So in order to turn around the big piece of equipment, I get no trouble with people backing me out. I leave the light on when it snows, they plow, turn around. There's no grader marks in Bryan Allen at the beginning of the road. So I don't, and Charlie says he graded, I'll have to believe him, but there's no sign of a grader tracks on that road. And regardless of if it was the plow marks, the chatter marks are still there. And if they made them with the grader or the York rake, I was wondering why they left and why didn't they smooth out the road to begin with. Then jumping off that, 'cause I beat up Charlie long enough. Sherburne Hill is, I mean, I don't know if they're going to do that. They're talking about ditching that road this year, or
They're getting
Supposed to be
ditched
ditched
and tarred.
Well,
Some
not
of
the
it.
whole.
Some of it.
or so why back last fall when I think Carl, I forget the name of the company from Stratford, they cut all the trees. Why, if he cut the trees and hauled the brush off and chipped it, why in his quote was stump grinding? If all those stumps got to come out to put a proper ditch on that road, I still haven't got an answer from Charlie or anybody from that. We paid somebody, we gave him a quote to cut the trees, chip the brush, drop the wood in, each person's dooryard, if not, whatever, or Spike's dooryard. But he ground pretty much every single stump there. Why would they had to be ground? If, like I said, if they're going to be popped out for the ditch. And I think the last meeting on June 19th, I was watching on TV a couple Saturdays ago, I think she brought up the overweight tax. You guys were talking something about the overweight tax for the trucks. You're going to maybe look into that. I said the companies I work for and the other companies I work for in the past, we pay the state. You talked about that on the TV. And a portion of that fee comes back to the towns. So I don't know how far you've got with that, or if you guys are going to get answers.
Well, actually,
Thinking about maybe charging the people for the overweight permits for the, how can you regulate that?
Actually, all the unrestricted revenue the state collects for like fuel taxes, registrations, licensing, 12% of that gets reallocated back to the towns and local highway block rents.
Yep. So you guys had talked about maybe putting a fee on the overweight permit trucks in town, or people that use
We didn't.
the town
We talked
roads?
about getting more. If you watched it, we talked about getting more information.
Okay, that I didn't know if
Well, we
in
didn't-
between then, if anything ever
We
happened. Or,
didn't get to talk about the direction we gave the administrator was to get a little more information, how it would work, how would that, it was kind of more informational.
Okay, so nothing is coming about or nothing, I didn't know the last month, because that was the June 19th meeting I think I saw on TV, that was the last,
I think this is our first meeting since then.
Yes.
okay, was it, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. But I was just wondering, you know, what, because I can show you pictures afterwards about my road, and, I mean, definitely from the plow marks. I mean, so I don't know if the guy didn't cut the grader in enough, or, so, but it's pretty good washboard in 3 different spots on the road, so. And I said, I got Charlie's text, it says, the snowplow didn't do it, the grader or the York rake did it. Well, we pay this guy, like I said, the York rake and grade, but why are we doubling up every road? You know, he went for the lowest bid on grading. He didn't do enough jobs, so we have to come behind him with the town equipment and York rake behind him. So,
Okay.
something to look into.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, it's like stereo.
Anybody else here for a citizens forum? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, we'll move on. Doesn't look like we have any appointments, so we'll go on to unfinished business. Drop shop electric.
The only,
Could I make a suggestion, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
I think there's several people here for the bid opening. Why don't we move to the bid opening in case there's people that just came for that, so that we could,
Okay. Sure.
if that's okay, Mr. Chairman.
Let it rip.
You bids?
2 bids.
Okay, what is this, green, or whatever. So their bid is $378,189.
What is it?
$378,189.
What company was that?
Growing or Groen or whatever. G-R-O-E-N.
G-R-O-E-N Construction.
Rochester?
Yeah.
What's the other one?
The other one is Avatar Construction.
$525,000.
So, needless to say, neither one of those are even close to what we've budgeted. So now we have another decision to make.
Yeah, and I have a couple questions that I need some research on, of course, if the board agrees. Town only appropriated $200,000 for this project. It's clear to me we don't have the money to do it.
So my.
I don't,
Go ahead.
first off, I need some clarification, because I'm not sure we can do this, and I'm not even sure if I would want to do this, because it's clear that our needs, we've already scoped this down supposedly. So, I would need a legal opinion, but I would like to consult counsel on if we could scope that down, or.
Even more?
I'm not done yet, but I'm personally thinking that we possibly scrap this and go back to the town at the next
Let
town
me
meeting.
throw you out what I had for an idea.
Okay.
Me and Kate kind of kicked this around a little bit. So I agree with you that we need to go back to the town.
Yeah.
But if you write the warrant article, so we're gonna appropriate the 200,000 that's already been appropriated this year, minus whatever, plus it looks like it's gonna be another $178,189. That's what you'd be asking for.
Well,
But you'd have to word it where we're gonna use the 200,000
Yeah, that's
that's gonna
not-
be in surplus.
That's not an insurmountable, that's something we can do. However,
I don't like
there's
the
a
idea.
clear and present health issue with the exhaust, which
Yeah,
I
well,
understand.
that's already been in there. That's gonna go in anyways.
I know, but where do you put that now? Because
Gonna have to put it in
you're gonna
the,
have to put it in the ridge.
or you're gonna have to, or, and then put the exhaust, the new
Because
exhaust
right
into this
now, if we
bid.
have to push this off for a year,
The exhaust isn't gonna be done.
the exhaust, well, you gotta address the exhaust.
That was put in the budget, correct?
That was put in the budget,
So we can put that down at the ridge.
yeah.
I know it's kind of pointless, but to that or don't do it.
It is what it is, or,
Can it be taken out and moved eventually, the exhaust system?
So you could move it to, so if we were to put it in the ridge,
and I gotta quite
Move
frankly
it.
tell you that you're talking over $500,000, we might even wanna look at bonding this.
I said that in the beginning. When we first came here, when we first did it. But we wanted to try it, and they said if it didn't work, we would have to go to bonding. I mean,
And then you go back to the other $1 million question, when you're getting up this high, do we go forward with the safety complex?
I don't see how you can if you're gonna spend $500,000 on there. That's just
Well,
my opinion.
My point is,
We're already spending $500,000. How much
how
more
much
would
is
be
it to
safety
put in
complex?
a safety complex?
On top of the $500,000.
I'm just talking, I got
No,
the bids, they're over double. what was
Almost
it?
double.
Almost, well, let's see, no, one was.
One's
fi-
close to double, one's
5
definitely
1/4.
double, over
Yeah,
double.
what I'm saying, so, they're double.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is not a good situation.
My assumption is that's probably why the other 7 didn't bid, is because they knew they couldn't bid underneath what we had appropriated. Because I'm sure if any company would have paid attention to what we appropriated.
I can tell you right now, as one selectman, I don't feel comfortable moving forward with doing anything on this.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think we could piece it together.
I don't think it's in the best interest of,
I think we got a few solid months before budget season, even before we start putting budget season and all that stuff together, that we need to really come up with a foolproof plan. Is what we're doing. Whether we're gonna put the 200,000 in surplus and then ask for more money. And then if it doesn't pass, then what do you do?
well,
Because I'm sure if we go back and ask for more money, we're gonna have to ask for more money regardless. I can't imagine the taxpayers are gonna be very impressed with that.
quite frankly, if I was a taxpayer,
I'd vote no.
I'd be bullshit.
I'd vote no.
I'd be bullshit if I was a taxpayer, and I
vote
am a
no.
Well, then
taxpayer.
maybe we should pursue looking into more of the safety complex. If in addition to $500,000, what would a complex be?
We're talking like $10 million. That's what they were. That's the estimated
No,
cost of the
that's,
state.
that's more than a school, that can't be.
That's what they were saying. Something like that.
Glenn's greenhouse, don't.
Right.
Yeah, but you're still even if we were to
Well, they've
scrap
already-
this and go to
they've
safety
already looked into
complex,
it.
you're not going to see a safety complex for 4 or 5 years. So you're still going to have the living issue down there. I don't know. It's half one, half another, I guess. Definitely something we have to figure out. What's your thoughts?
Why are the bids so much different than what we anticipated it would be?
I kind of figured when I looked at the plans, it was going to be about $400,000. But that was my assumption. What do you want to do? You want to get some info and see what we can do?
Well, it's
I think
clear,
either way
it's
it's
clear
gonna
to
go
me, like, I gotta tell you straight up, this is so out of whack.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. I don't even wanna move forward with starting anything, because no matter what we do at this point,
You're going to have to go back for more money.
well, and I'd rather not spend the money and have people mad, but they still have their tax dollars.
Yeah.
They haven't been spent and it's set aside.
I think that's the best
Then
way to
go
go.
back and ask, because
I think if we go back, it's going to have, you're going
the
to have.
fire chief's here, I just got a couple of questions. So, when you went, you had a plan drawn up, and somebody gave you an estimate on how much it was gonna cost, right? And it gave you a ballpark idea? How'd we
I knew
come
when
so
this,
far off?
I knew when we put the bid out that we were gonna have troubles because, personally, right along, we had figured we were gonna work together with the community. We were going to have I mean, I guarantee you every line on there, we can beat with the contractors that we got prices from, because they were all from town. They wanted to give the town the best bet. We didn't, at the time, like Rick, he'll tell you, we needed something because these guys are in such dire shape, but we didn't want to spend too much because we knew it wouldn't pass. So we tried to make the addition more or less the bare necessities. And, I mean, we had plumbing fixtures, electrical, counter dumpsters, all this stuff we could get donated. I mean, we don't want
Can I ask
to.
you a question with all due respect?
Yep.
Here's the problem you're gonna run into, and volunteers are great. How do you deal with the issues of, I got this contractor here doing this, I got this contractor here, somebody gets injured on the job working on this, who's gonna pay the workers'
Well,
comp?
they're all, these aren't just, fly by night. These are all.
I'm not saying fly by night, but I don't think business is done like this anymore.
I guess not.
In municipal government.
I mean, it has been done, and other towns besides ours, and this town has done it too. Right along,
20 years ago.
we were talking, we were gonna have to do a lot of the legwork ourselves, just the legwork. I mean, alone.
I don't.
Can you give me a town?
I don't
that
actually
can you
ever
give me an
remember
example of
agreeing
a
to
town?
allowing anybody else to do the legwork.
Can you give me an example of a town that's recently built some kind of complex and had
I'm not
volunteers?
saying, we can't do it with a complex. You'd never be able to do something
Well,
like that.
has
complex.
there any town around here that recently built a fire station with volunteers in the last 20 years?
I didn't research that, but
I mean, I respect what you were trying to do,
yeah.
but
I mean, it wasn't volunteer. It was, we would hire people to come in. It's just they were giving us the best deal that they could. I mean, yeah, we'd have to do some stuff. We're not going to be doing the framing and stuff. And, I guess we should, I mean, I'll take blame that I shouldn't have agreed, talked.
I'm not looking to point blame at anybody. I just looking to.
But it wasn't just
How do we move
wasn't just me. A bunch of us were all talking about this,
Yeah,
and
right.
nobody ever said anything about not being able to do some of the general contracting, do some of
It was
that.
never agreed on that we were gonna allow you to do it either. So it wasn't said that you couldn't, but it was never said that you could either.
No, I know
So.
it was, but I've talked
It goes
to.
both ways. Don't say that we didn't allow it. We
I-
never
I
agreed
I never
on
said
it either.
I never said you didn't allow
I
it.
don't want to make this.
I'm just no.
I just want to see
That's-
how
that's
do we
what happened.
how do we fix this and move forward. And I think the best thing to do is go back and actually ask for the money you need to do the project.
Yeah. I
We're
think
not
you're gonna.
taking public comment right now.
I think you're gonna have to figure out something. All right. So, we're good now. We move on.
But I think we move on
Put the
to.
exhaust system, the ranch.
I just have a question for clarification. Would you like me to get attorney opinion on scaling back the project, or do you want to focus on the plan that we currently have?
Like
and
what we can buy
funding
for
options
$200,000?
for it?
All right, let me ask you this, okay?
I don't see how we can if we
Wait,
told the public we were gonna build the whole complex for $200,000. How can you only spend that $200,000, not give them the whole complex that they voted on? How is that? How can you do that?
That's why she wants to ask the attorney.
Yeah. So here's my question. Ask.
I think it's even
Which
you
I
gotta
kind of,
ask. It's common sense.
I don't know the answer, but find out. It's not our part of municipal association. I don't know. We want to spend the money on the lawyer right now because I kind of know some of these answers. Ask them if they're familiar with any recent, like there was some joint effort in a community to use volunteer, like companies to do the work. Is there any precedence in recent years? I'm not talking 20, 25 years ago, I'm talking, do they know of any towns that have approached building these fire stations through the use of contractors that are willing to do it like at a cost of materials type thing?
Wow.
At a
Yes.
better rate than they would give typically.
And one of the other problems you run in, and people in the public will say follow, is how do you pick these vendors? Well, this guy's going to do this for this, but you still have that public perception like, well, how'd you select him? Because he said he would do it for, you know what I'm saying? You got that public perception that these people were all hand-picked by...
Well, like electricians, I had 2 electricians, you know, it wasn't just,
Right.
But you still, because I'm assuming that if you were going to do it this way, we wouldn't be putting everything out to bid. Is that a fair assumption?
no, you still could. I would still follow the same guidelines that you normally do for anything over.
I mean, I think I know the answer to the question already, but I just out of curiosity.
We need some formal
but I-
opinions.
But I think that, like, based on these bids, we can't move forward with this project. So,
I have clear
Unfortunately.
direction.
what's the next thing on the agenda? Thanks,
Shop,
Nick.
Swap Shop Electric.
Thank you.
Robert Sawyer.
I just have one last comment. How did this project go from $45,000 when we originally did the CIP to now $500,000? Because that is what it was originally planned for. Correct? Am I wrong with that?
I'm not here to beat up
I'm
on
just
it.
I'm just wondering. Is that not what it was originally
DJ,
questioned for?
DJ,
Just asking.
yes, you are
Thank
correct.
you. How do you go from 45,000 to 500,000 and explain that, please? That's. I just want to leave it at that. I want to leave it right there.
But the whole thing is, that's why I can't move forward with this. I can't justify. I cannot
It's
justify this.
just tells you. I mean, that should be a quick light right there in
I
your head.
can't justify it.
What's the time frame on addition to a bill? It took 4 years to get a fire truck in town.
That's what happens when you let your buddies do it.
Just saying.
Just saying. That goes to the point of allowing somebody that's a buddy to do it. That's what happens.
Before I got to see it in town.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you have friends do it and it waits 3-4 years. All right, Swap Shop Electric.
Robert Sawyer can no longer do the project. OB's Electric
We already did this.
is
Yeah,
still.
we never voted. You guys never voted on it.
Oh, sorry.
No. So if you'd like to move forward with Obi, he can
What's the price?
get it done within 2 weeks. The price is $2,900.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll make a motion to approve OB Electric in the amount of $2,900.
To come out of the transfer station expendable trust fund.
Yes.
I second that.
I'd just like to add a little bit of comment to that. As soon as he's done this electricity, we need to get all that swap shop open and get rid of the other one. Not let it sit there for another 6 months like it's been sitting. And that hood truck that's up there needs to go too. We got a new machine, it's time to start using this stuff.
Was that a second, or was that?
That's just
did we get
discussion
a
of some
second?
things that need to be
Okay.
done,
We had it.
that I've been asking to get done for the last 3 months that haven't been done.
The what truck?
The bulb truck, we bought a brand new shed to put the bulbs in. The whole point to get that shed was to get rid of the light bulb shed that's up there, and it has yet to move. We bought that shed in March, and here it is, July. I mean, it's not that hard. You drag it down with your backhoe, put it in the metal container, done. 2-hour project. But apparently, oh yeah, we don't want to use it. It's too new.
The town has a backhoe, but why,
Exactly, that's my point.
They should hire it out. If the town's gonna use the dump, that's another thing. But
What do you mean?
On the later.
I mean,
That's the highway department's bathroom. not the
right, they
dump.
already use it, they already use it at the transfer station. We had this conversation when we bought it. They already use that at the transfer station anyways.
What comes out of the transfer?
When we wanted to buy it, I wanted to take some money out of the transfer station fund to put towards it, but didn't work out that way. I actually asked this, I wanted to know how many hours they were using it down there so we could budget money out of this transfer station budget to help pay for it. I have yet to see any hours of what they're using it for down there. Not one. I did ask.
So who's accountable? If you guys are the
We,
selectmen-
the road agent's accountable, but how are you gonna hold him accountable when he's hired? He's an elected official. How are we gonna do it? Huh?
Those you three guys supersede everybody?
I'd love to do something about it, but it takes two.
To be quite frank, to answer your question, and I mean frank in a bad way, is he's elected position. Several times in the past, we tried to go to an appointed road agent that would directly report to the selectmen.
You can't appointed or not appointed, but if Charlie uses the backhoe in the dump for 2 hours, it ought to come out of the dump budget.
I agree.
The highway budget.
I agree,
He's
100%.
done that for 25 years.
I agree,
Beating
100%.
down the dumpsters. Every time they move a dumpster out, he brings the backhoe in there and cleans out behind the dumpster. Yeah, he's helping out, but
I agree.
the hours that he's beating down the dumpsters or cleaning out behind the dump and all that stuff, that machine ought to be out putting the culvert in or out grading,
I think you'll find out if you really look into the amount of hours that backhoe is used and how many hours it's used at the transfer station. Probably 70% of it is at the transfer station because they don't use it anywhere else. And it's been that way for, like you said, the last 20 years. That's why when we traded in the backhoe, it only had like 5,000 hours on it. It's at 500 hours a year. That's why.
All right, let's go back to the electric.
That was seconded.
Oh, we can vote. I just want to make sure that shit's done when we get it.
Okay. Mr. Chairman?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's going overhead to that building?
What?
A new building? Power's going overhead to that building?
I'll do
We
respect-
even moved the
I'll
pole.
do- Hey, wait, Mr. Chairman, with all due respect, let's wait, have public, I'm more than happy to have public comment at the end.
All right, so new business, acceptance of minutes.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I want to abstain.
Just,
What's that? I'm gonna sign that.
Okay, I'm on to assessing items. So we got, I'll make a motion to approve the P28 inventory of taxable property form from 2019. It's the annual request from DRA regarding the use of inventory forms PA28 for 2019. And our assessor has suggested that the attached letter be marked will not be using. So I move that.
I second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
You had two items, right?
Yeah,
The other one
I
was,
think the other one is,
notice to intent to cut.
yeah,
Okay, and then I'll make a motion to approve a notice of intent to cut, 36 Bean Road, map 234, lot 12, map 234, sublot 1. Oh, and then you got, so he's like, okay, you got map 234, lot 12, and then you got lot 12, sublot 1, and then lot 12, sublot 2.
correct.
All taxes have been paid, so I will move that for approval.
Second that.
Any discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
This is- I'll make a motion to approve the manifest number 2018, number 15, in the amount of $846,304.64.
Second that.
Just for discussion purposes, there's gotta be like a huge school payment in there, right?
There is, correct.
And the school payment,
Probably 400,000, that's usually what it is.
I think she wrote the amount right on the cover.
800,000.
800,000,
So
so.
double the amount.
Okay. So about
Any more
40
discussion?
46,000 is the town stuff.
Any more discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Restricted to page, Gary. I think we must be on backup power.
I think we are.
Okay.
I got a text saying we don't have power in town.
This was previously approved, it's just signing the purchase order.
Okay.
Was I here when you approved this?
That was the
19th?
awarding of the bid, no.
So I'm gonna,
Oh, this is just reimbursement, Gary Garnett's cell phone reimbursement, coming out of the, is this coming out of the,
Yes, the cable trust fund.
so I'll move to approve, there's two things on here, cell phone reimbursement and DVDs and, what's a CNC? Gary, what's CNC? Or is it
ET, et cetera.
Oh, et cetera. Oh, what is et cetera?
I do CNC machines, it's not cutting out.
That CNC Music Factory? So you're
I
gonna
believe
spend
the
et
receipts
cetera?
are attached.
Oh, I guess that's DVD, et cetera?
Yeah, so what are you buying in addition to the DVDs?
No, I already bought the DVDs. DVDs. That's what those are.
Oh, so it's all DVDs.
Those are all DVDs.
So
and
we
then-
actually don't need et cetera. That's what I'm getting at. I'm gonna cross off the et cetera. I'm just, when we get et cetera for it's all DVDs. All right, I'm all set. Do you have any more questions, anybody?
No?
Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Could we put it in here, like, more directly that's coming out of the cable expendable trust fund?
Yes. Gary has presented another purchase order for B and H for the,
No. Selectmen? Downstairs? Downstairs?
I'm guessing
I
downstairs.
would think
Is
so.
the door open?
This,
this is for what he presented
oh, so
last
there's
week,
three different bits
right? So there is a spreadsheet
on the second
on
page.
the second page
Okay.
for each of you.
There you go. There you go.
Hold up, sorry a minute.
Okay.
Thank you, Beth.
So he's going with the 28, 29, I assume, right?
No. You would like to go with B and H for the full amount of $3,776.44.
With no power.
I would like to break this up. So I would like to purchase all the stuff from the cheapest vendor except for the one item that wasn't available. Because I'm looking at this, I got the quotes. It's clear to me that again, we're not comparing apples.
I'm just making sure that,
Well, you got, he's right here.
here, look at this one here. So,
That's all we asked. Okay, first off, that's all we asked for. I told you to do this so we're comparing apples to apples. Not
Yes,
apples
and
to
we
oranges.
are.
No, you're not, because the one I got doesn't have that additional information on it.
Well, this was for my use, because what you wanted was
So-
a comparison to what, all the things that were available.
Yeah.
Some of these things are not available, that's why that price is cheaper
So
than that.
what you would do, Gary, which was really not the time to do this, is that you would take this out, okay? So you'd be comparing everything the same, and you'd make a note that this would have to be purchased from another vendor, because you can't get a hold of it from that.
Okay, well, that's kind of what this right here is.
All right.
but-
So, but that's not,
If-
without you coming down here and interrupting the meeting, I would not have that information accessible. So why don't you go back and run your cameras?
Okay, shall do.
What you suggesting to do with this? I'm sorry.
I would suggest going with B&H. B&H is giving a discounted rate for purchasing it all through them.
All right, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Is there a way you could work with Gary, or Sandy could work with Gary to? Do you know what I'm looking for?
I do, yes.
Okay. Could we
I can.
strive to get closer to that?
Absolutely.
All right. I will make it, as much as I don't want to do this, I will make a motion to pick B&H Audio Video in the amount of $3,776.44. Come out of the Cable Expendable Trust.
I second that.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yep.
3-0. What else we got?
We have an amended, we don't have any further purchase orders. We have an amended service agreement with Stratford Regional Planning Commission. Originally, when the contract was drafted up, the hours were never changed. The hours should have been edited from 172 to 516. If we do not authorize an amended contract, the planner can no longer provide services to the town for this year.
I feel like the whole floor's moving.
So what's,
Is that you shaking your feet?
it's an earthquake.
I felt like somebody's going like this with their feet.
It's a thunder and lightning. All right, so what's the difference in price?
There's no difference in price.
You just,
It's
you're
amending,
scoping the hours.
right, it's correcting the hours to match what the town budgeted.
Okay, is there two of these we have to sign?
Yep, the second
I'll
one.
make a motion to approve the amended services agreement between the town of Northwood and Stratford Regional Planning.
I second that.
For
Any more discussion?
So that there's no change in the cost, just a change in hours.
Correct.
Any more discussion?
I also like to amend my motion to allow the chairman to execute this document on behalf of the Board of Selectmen.
Second.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
We have two separate quotes for roadside mowing and brush cutting. Charlie did solicit several companies and only two.
Hourly rate,
Yes.
do you know how many hours?
Yeah,
80.
So it's cut off at 80?
One company
Gave an overall,
gave an overall, one did not.
but
So this guy will do it for $1,500.
Correct.
which, hold on. So if we're gonna do 80 hours,
we had it written down here. 15 or 72.
yeah, but that's 8 hours, not 80. So 1,500 divided by 80. He's charging us $18.75 an hour. So that's not 15 grand.
He is charging
So that's not 15 grand.
It's
That's
1,500 a day.
a day, all
A
right.
day.
Well, the way he said it was like, that makes more sense now.
But this guy's charging us $90 an hour.
So wait a minute, so he's doing 15 hours a day for what's he got, 8 days? Is that what he's saying?
8 hours on site.
8 hours a day?
For
So
how
that
many
would be
days
10
then?
10 days? It's 15
So
grand.
this guy's gonna be,
7,200, that one would be 15 grand.
alright,
Because if you're doing 80 hours at 8 hours a day, that's 10 days.
But it doesn't say 80 hours on this.
Yeah, but we budget for 80 hours anyways, that's the cutoff. We usually do 80 hours every year, if I remember right.
I believe so.
So even though he's saying 8 hours a day, we'd still want him to do 80 hours.
can I ask, and again, maybe this is something I don't understand, and I'll admit if I don't understand it. Why can't we take a contract, right? Let's say, I wanna do this, like, when I have a landscaper come to my house, or somebody does a job for me. I had an addition put on my house. The contractor came in and said, Scott, to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, my cost estimate for this project is, 50 grand. Why can't I get this for these things? Why can't you say, I need you to trim brush here
Right.
for this length?
That comes from the person that's asking for the quote, though.
Right. We can ask Charlie in the future to
Yeah.
have them quote
Here we go.
the same, whether it's an hourly rate
I
or
mean,
a total
it's
amount.
tough when you try to make these decisions.
I understand.
It comes back
And
to
then I turn around,
the
hey, that's
original
great, this one's cheaper, but when the time's up, how much has he mowed? Maybe he only mowed, yeah, he might have worked the same hours, but he might have mowed.
Remember,
half the
remember
stuff.
last year we wanted to make sure we had to keep track because we weren't sure we were getting our 80 hours.
it's
We
just-
made sure they parked it out here so we could keep track of when they were using it and all that good stuff. Remember it very well.
To be quite honest, I
To be
don't.
quite honest, I do not want to approve this, so here you go, you can make the motion.
But
We don't have enough information though. Don't you wanna know what they're gonna do? Like you just said?
Did we put out a bid?
no, we didn't put out a bid. Charlie presented these two quotes to
So
me.
what,
I don't know
what are
what
we getting
roads-
done?
To be quite honest, I don't know what
I think we
roads
should
we're
table it till we
doing.
know what he wants.
Right.
My guess is we'll have somebody like Tim come in here and say that the road wasn't done and he's gonna tell them it was, when it wasn't done.
Just like 2 years ago, you said, are we going 6 feet off the road? Are we going 4 feet off the road?
Same things we've been dealing with for the last, I don't even wanna know how many years, but it's been a long time.
Maybe we shouldn't spend the
been a
money,
long
just let the
time.
grass grow.
It's been a long time.
What is the difference between mowing and brush cutting?
I
Roadside brush
I
cutting.
need
I'm
more
sorry.
information. I do,
So-
I'm not speaking for the board, I'm speaking
What,
as one select.
what information does the board want?
I wanna know
The
what
number
we're
of
having
roads,
trimmed,
what are they
what roads
doing?
are being done, how many, I mean, are we trimming, for example, we're trimming, I'm just throwing something out here. We're doing 10 miles of road, 6 feet off the side of the road.
On Dennis Pond and
Yeah,
doing 3 feet
what
off of
roads,
this
are you
road, such
trimming
and
all the
such and
roads,
such.
or are you gonna do 64 miles?
Are you saying, Scott, you want a plan?
I guess I am.
I'm pretty sure that this town is allergic to those.
I think a plan.
I'm almost positive it is.
I'd like a plan.
Pretty sure this town is allergic to plans.
No, it's not.
It seems to be.
No, we're gonna get some bad trouble.
We have a walkthrough. Roadside mowing have a walkthrough.
I don't know why we haven't been doing it for years.
It can also be something that's bid out. Plenty of other towns bid out roadside mowing. So it can generate from my office as opposed to getting quotes if the town would prefer.
I don't know.
And then
Either
you
way,
have
as
the
long as we have a plan.
standardization of what roads you do, how many miles of road, things of that nature.
That way we know what we're getting.
It's not even our fault. We get blamed for it, but
We
it's
can
like-
blame everything, but
$1,000, we know we're gonna
that's what
get.
we're given.
You can blame for it, you don't hold people responsible and accountable.
I'd love to. Trust me, I would
I'll
love
fall
to.
back to the guy inside that highway department, a lot of these issues.
Oh, there's more. Wait till public. Wait till there's more.
Oh, boy. All right, I say we move on to the next topic.
That's the plan. That's the plan right
Is that okay,
there.
Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
Who we got next?
Vina Dow had at some point
Just keeping the beehive going.
I am. Had at some point asked Granite Image to redo the town's brochures for the transfer station.
Do we have money in the budget for this before we go
There
any
is money
further?
in the budget.
How much
There
did we,
is
how much did we spend out of the advertising budget for
That
the?
was classic.
$0.
We didn't spend anything for the stickers? Where'd that money come from, for the stickers?
Not from printing and advertising.
Where'd we?
There's a separate line
Bring
item.
it back down to the gate, here we go.
Whatever.
To reprint would be $80 to $100, depending on the amount that the selectmen would like to print. So choose to do.
Sure.
We're out of them now? Or
No,
close
they
to?
just
We are
don't
not
like the
out
ones
of
that we
them.
have. But we're not changing anything except for the date on the front. That's, I mean, seriously.
What are the hours?
Everything's the same. All we're doing is just changing the printed date. That's it.
Tell you what, over budget,
We shouldn't put a printed date on it then.
Yeah, don't put a
I
printed
mean,
date
that's
on
really all we're changing, and a little bit of wording. A little bit of wording.
If we have the date off, it don't really
Huh?
expire.
I'm just saying, I mean, that's. Oh, I agree.
Oh, you know what
That's
you
all
do?
we're changing
Hey,
is
you
the
wanna see
date.
something? We'll do like the forms at the state. You don't put this effective date. You, on the back down here somewhere, you'll put the date that you did this.
Established. All right, let's change it. Send some new ones.
So how many? do you need?
I don't know, 5,000? 5,000 residents.
I mean, we can, well, they quoted us for 300 or 500. It would be
Oh, that's
$30 for 300, 500 for $50 for
So
500.
$50 for every 500?
Right.
So if you got 5,000, that'd be $500.
Yeah, but we're not gonna give them to everybody. We have them where at town hall, at the transfer station.
We've already
and
gone
then-
through like 4,000 stickers. So you're gonna go through that many,
But is the information also online?
doesn't matter.
Mail out your tax
It will be
bill.
put online.
Huh?
Mail them out your tax bill. Can't.
You're not allowed to, there's some statute that.
Maybe they could, everyone get one then when they register their car. With their new transfer station sticker.
That we're giving out down at the transfer station like hotcakes? 2, 3, 4 of them at a time?
How?
How? It's happening.
I was in there the other night, some guy came in to get his sticker, but he has an apartment with 2 other people, those residents has already gotten his, he didn't get one.
Surprised. I'm surprised. That's probably one of the first ones that's gotten denied.
Homeowner, taxpayer, the whole place.
Did they have them?
They had them there.
Surprised they didn't give them to him.
Oh,
They're just asking for a driver's license. I know somebody that doesn't even live in town that got one because his driver's license still says
I
Northwood.
would like to make a motion to elect.
I can spin that one.
To elect and replace me from this nightmare. I'm just kidding.
Problem is we created it over the amount of the years that you've allowed it to happen.
Oh,
Your
stop.
guy's fault for having a generator and power when I was going home.
I'd like to make a motion to hire Alex. Is that Simiti?
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, to be honest.
It looks like Simiti, C-I-M-E.
Wait, whoa. Oh, it's for recreational, okay.
Okay.
I thought I didn't know.
Oh, we're
we
still
were
on the
hiring.
brochures.
Oh, wait. Are we still on brochures?
Yeah,
We
we
just,
didn't
no,
think
I
how
thought
many
we
we
moved
did.
it on. Oh, we were just gonna put a date on there when it's printed.
We didn't know how many she wants us to,
How
how
many?
many they want them to make.
I'm sorry. How many you want?
I think I gotta start with at least 1,000,
I can order 1,000.
1,000 sounds
at
good.
least.
And it won't be brought forward to you again.
It's a plan. 1,000.
Then we can just print, then we can just copy them ourselves.
Yeah, why don't we just run them to the photocopy?
Our printer quality is pretty poor, so at this point, after all these years, since 2011, the ones that we have are pretty
Isn't a
rough
good
looking.
original, yeah.
All right, so do we need to make a motion on that?
No.
Okay.
Why we have to.
Is it okay to move on to the next topic, Mr. Chairman?
Have at it, buddy.
Okay, I'm just checking. So I have a thing here from Sharon DeLuca. make a recommendation to hire Alex Sameti, I guess, at $11.70 an hour, labor grade 1, step 8, to assist with swimming lessons. So moved.
Okay.
Any discussion? Do we gotta do a background check, correct? Pending background check?
She's already,
Returning?
she worked, she was actually like the head lifeguard last year, right?
Right.
So we're all set on
Made
that?
them all do them this year, didn't we? Again? All the ones that returned?
Well,
Lessons start
here's your
next week,
issue.
so-
Here's your issue. Swim lessons are already in progress,
I get it.
By
and
the time it comes back,
by the
Well, then
time
she should have brought this to us a long time ago.
We didn't do background checks for lifeguards.
well, they're minors anyway. Most of
this
them
one,
are
actually,
like-
this one's not a minor. She's graduated from college.
All right, we don't have to have a background check, it's fine.
By the
Well,
time it comes back, it's going to be.
fine.
she's worked for, just to justify this, she's worked for the town for several seasons. She's had
I understand
previous
that.
background checks.
But we've made other people that have come back after every year.
We can
retake-
cancel swim, DJ.
Just
We
saying,
can
we've
cancel.
done it. I'm not saying that we should cancel swim lessons. I'm just saying we've done it before with other people returning.
How long will it take for it to come back?
Huh?
Is there a big cost?
No, you typically, the background check,
The problem is the time, it's not the cost.
not the cost.
So really, this should have came to us probably a
The
month ago.
situation, I believe, just arose like a week ago.
We didn't know about swim lessons?
We did know about swim lessons.
Was it posted that we were looking for
I
somebody?
think it's a non-public issue, but I don't think we should discuss it in public. Okay,
Short-staffed.
they're short-staffed on the lifeguards.
Well, we need to have lifeguards. The kids learn how to swim. We don't want something to happen.
We also don't want somebody teaching them to swim that has a background
Exactly.
either.
Oh, I agree. I think we should wait on this one.
No, if you want to move forward, we can move forward, because you're not gonna, if we don't do it without a
How
background
many
check,
do they have right now? How
we're
many?
not gonna get the swim lessons.
I know that they're short one. I don't know how many they have staffed for swim lessons.
One of the issues you have is, well, they can assist with swim lessons, but the instructor, I believe we have one instructor that's, two lifeguards that are WSI certified. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and make this motion.
I mean, they'll never be left alone with anyone. There's always a group of people.
Correct.
I do feel uncomfortable with no background check. I mean, they are children.
Her background check that we have on file may still be within a year that it was done, if it was completed last year. Or right around a year, if she was hired at the beginning of the season.
Do we have, just for clarification, did you second this?
No.
Okay, so I'll make the motion to approve hiring. So I just need a second.
Any more discussion?
I'm good.
Good. Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna say nay.
Okay.
Maybe you? Say nay, so 2 nays, 1 aye.
I think if I knew the background check was still valid.
It could be a year old, anything can happen in a year. I can get a background check too. Huh?
Why don't you fingerprint her, send them in and let her stop?
How long will it take to come back?
Takes weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
Come back and some will be over.
Maybe drop in the lake by then?
I don't, I mean,
I'm only saying no out of precedent,
Can
because
I?
we do it to
okay.
every other employee
Well,
we make do it.
It's just children.
Normally, I agree with, I actually
That's
do,
why I'm saying
actually,
no.
factually and I agree with the DJ. However, this is somebody that's worked down that beach for 4 years.
I understand that, but
It's not like
every year that, even when we had the highway department seasonal guy that came back 2-3 years in a row, we made him do a background check every year, even though he was coming back.
And
We
then
do
I'll
it
tell
with
you-
we do it with our plow guys when they come back every year. We do a background check.
All right, I guess we
Every
move,
year.
I guess we move on.
sure you might not be biased here. Baby?
No, I don't want it to affect swimming lessons, but it's
Oh.
children,
No, I mean,
if something,
How am I being biased?
will be,
no,
The school does them, and according to the superintendent, as long as it's done, they can stop. And something, they're doing that all the time.
but they have their fingerprints done.
I don't understand why it takes us 2 weeks to get back, but I can get it back in 10 days at the trailer park and you can do one. So why does it take us so long to get one back?
I don't know. That's what I'm being told.
Yeah. I don't know.
Time of the year too.
The last couple ones have taken, approximately 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
I'm just, which is fine with me. We're gonna have to cancel swim lessons next week.
I think we will.
You guys can hire her. I'm just voting no because I'm voting no because that's the way we've done it. Every other employee has been,
I agree with you.
Are they,
This is somewhat,
they won't be alone with any children.
it's not the point.
well, first off,
Well, I'm thinking of the children's safety.
First off, this is not, this is somebody that's worked for us for 4 seasons, that happens to not be working right now, is graduating from college, happens to be here for the summer, that's willing to assist with the lessons. I'm not saying we got bringing in a stranger
Right,
that's never worked for the town to help out in a pinch.
okay.
But I understand your position, DJ, and I respect it.
No, you don't, but that's okay.
I do respect it.
No, you don't, but that's okay.
How many kids are gonna be affected? How many kids signed up? Do we know that top of your head?
Offhand, I'm not sure how many. I know that there were quite a few. I know it was I know all the sessions, I think, are full.
All right, so are we gonna move on, or are we gonna
No.
amend your motion and hire? Because my vote's not gonna change. So it's either if your vote's not gonna change, then we can move on. If your vote's gonna change, then
My
you guys
vote-
can hire.
My vote will change. I don't want the children
I
not
got
to
it.
have swimming lessons.
Go
but
for it.
I vote yes.
You gotta reconsider. You gotta make a motion to reconsider.
I was not in the affirmative, so I can't make a motion to reconsider.
So I make a motion to reconsider hiring, what was her name? I'm sorry.
Alex Samedi,
Alex Samedi for a lifeguard.
labor grade 1, step 8.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm still voting no. I think you just set a really bad precedence for every other person that we hire, but that's okay.
The hiring process and the...
Changes for every person we hire.
Well, I don't think it changes for every person that we hire. However, it can be problematic at times for the town, being so restrictive.
I only feel comfortable because she has been doing it for the past 4 years. I know.
She was our head lifeguard last, she was the beach coordinator last year.
I wish that it came
It
to us
doesn't
a
matter.
month ago. I mean, we
Doesn't-
hired
it
someone
doesn't
2 weeks
matter,
ago,
Scott.
those haven't come back yet then either, have they?
Scott,
Are they
all
already
right,
working with the
so,
children?
For instance, you could,
They're already
for
lifeguards?
instance, you can work somewhere.
All right, but.
Get in trouble
but-
while you work
but-
there,
but
not
DJ,
get fired.
Well,
Still work
We
there.
hired people 2 weeks
I-
ago, we haven't come
I'm
back
not
yet.
disagreeing with
I
you.
think we should still do the background check.
yeah, none
I think that if you're just gonna do it based on kids, we might as well just hire whoever we want.
But none of the background checks come back yet, and they've already been working for what, 2 weeks?
No, they've come back.
the lifeguards, we didn't do background checks on.
because they're minors.
Basically, if you're a minor, nothing's gonna come
Exactly.
back.
She's not a minor. My point is every other seasonal person that we bring back, we do a background check every
Well,
year.
they should have come to us a month ago.
It should have. The fact that this person's coming last minute and wants to be hired isn't our fault. It doesn't mean that we should, somebody else's lack of preparedness doesn't judgment us into a quick decision. But apparently it does.
DJ, it wasn't a matter of,
I think there's some things that you're not aware of.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, there's some things you're not aware of, that, some personnel problems.
That's not our fault. That's the person that's the head guard down there that's not doing their job as, that's what we make them in charge for.
I don't think it's a matter of anybody not
I
doing
think-
their
This is a
job.
non-public thing.
I think it, that's all I'm saying, that this should be discussed in
Yes.
non-public,
Non-public, I
not in public forum. That's all I'm trying to say, DJ.
I just don't want swimming lessons to be canceled and the children don't learn how to swim.
Okay, moving along.
You wanna run it?
I don't-
Go for it.
You're chair. Go ahead, run the meeting.
Go ahead, you got it.
I'm not the chair.
Roads, what do we got left?
I have no more miscellaneous signatures or approvals.
So, looks like we got town administrator's report.
So just to make you aware that the planning board is starting the CIP update. They did pass around an email to other boards and committees for input. If the Board of Selectmen has any ideas beyond what was previously in the CIP under the town hall portion, I can pass it along through the process. I could follow up at the next meeting with you all if you'd like. That would be before the planning board's meeting regarding the CIP. We did receive 2 applications for the seasonal laborer position. At this point, I'd like some direction from the board whether we want to fill the position, given that
Did we see some
I
applications?
received 2. We're going into mid-July, and it's approximately 5 weeks to get background checks back. I'm not sure if the board wants to move forward with filling the position at this point. If you are interested,
I'm not really, at this point, I mean,
Summer will be over, so.
summer's almost over, I would not fill the position.
okay.
Wish they applied a month ago.
I know. I know.
Sure you don't wanna hire him without a background check?
I actually don't.
Just a question, I mean, we just did it a minute ago.
We have 2 employees that have submitted their resignations. We have a transfer station attendant and the building inspector have submitted their resignations. The building inspector, Dale, is willing to
Loghead kid. One at
stay
eight.
on for a few weeks and do some inspections if the board would like. We have a couple outstanding projects, which I think it would be helpful if
Helpful.
Dale would stay on. He's available in the afternoons after 2 o'clock to come in and do inspections.
I think that's a short-term plan.
Yeah, it's a very short-term plan until we get something in place. I have listed both the transfer station attendant and the building inspector position in all the public places and the Sun and New Hampshire Municipal Association. I'll pass it along to the forum also. The Recreation Department has indicated that they're having some trouble with kids and adults jumping off Bennett Bridge. There are signs that indicate no jumping from the bridge. It was suggested that perhaps we use spray paint and stencil on the pavement. No jumping from the bridge, whether that will deter anyone else.
Why
There's
are our lifeguards letting them do it?
They don't.
They done this.
They don't. They jump off the bridge and the lifeguards gotta call the police because they ignore the lifeguards.
Yeah, so after the first few times these people get the police on them, they're still doing it? Or have we even taken a step to call the police, or are we just letting them do it and complaining?
The beach coordinator has contacted the police department about jumping from the bridge and parking issues that have been occurring. So the police department are doing extra patrols Like I said, I was asked to bring forward the suggestion for the stenciling on the pavement. I'm not sure if it'll do any
It's
more.
already posted on a sign, right?
It is posted on signs.
People don't
So
read.
there are signs visible.
Both sides of the bridge, is there a sign?
I believe on both sides of the bridge.
Could we get another sign? As opposed to stenciling something in the street?
Yeah, I'm not sure where we would put it, but we can look into getting another sign and where might be the best place to put it.
Maybe like no jumping off bridge, police will be notified.
Can look into what our options are
They're
down
not
there.
going to listen. They're going to do it anyway.
Back when we were kids, they painted the line where you had to jump off the bridge.
That was back when you were allowed to actually have fun.
When we were kids, they had a, you know,
There was two red lines, and you,
Red line where you could jump.
there was two red lines where you were supposed to jump
This
in
is
the
the
middle
deep
of.
part, you'll be
Oh,
safe.
yeah.
Yeah, there was literally like a square that you.
How deep is it there?
It's deep enough to jump if you jump in those spots.
Pipe down there.
Yeah, right in those two spots.
There's a culvert coming from like Midnight side over to the Bow Lake, you know, over to the island side.
So don't jump, but if you're going to, jump here.
No, it used to be if you. It used to be. Yeah, I've jumped off it millions of times. Millions of times. Huh? I've jumped off it millions of times.
Like almost like when they built it, they had like rocks sticking out to climb.
We're encouraging no jumping.
Absolutely. There's two little red marks. That's where you jumped in between.
Right, but then it's the liability if they jump and they get hurt.
I think it was always a sign down there that you weren't supposed to jump, but you could jump. I have no idea how it was, but yeah, you used to be able to. Whatever. Anything else? What's next? Anything else?
Falls Excavation has started their work on the ditching of Genes and Sherburne. When they're finished, R&D is ready to jump in and do the paving. So that project is underway. Northwood Lake Beach has repeatedly tested tested positive for high levels of bacteria. They will be testing on Thursday. The levels are increasing. We may be reaching a excessively high level, which would require us to post the beaches red. They're still in a level advisory stage at this point. However, the health officer and the recreation director did close the beach today just to prevent residents from using the lake.
But it's still yellow.
It is still yellow. The levels are increasing.
Yeah, we're not gonna have swimming lessons anyways. So what are we worried about hiring a swim lesson for?
We don't have
The
lessons
swim
there.
lessons are at Bow Lake.
That's
Right. So we have notified.
If someone's using our beach and if we post it red though, they can still use it? They can't use it
No,
now?
no. I directed
Health issue.
I directed the recreation director to reach out to the individual that coordinates for Epsom to let them know that it's not recommended to have the swim lessons there, and we did in fact close the beach. We didn't want to take a chance of having swim lessons there and,
Right.
and lifeguards and anybody getting sick.
Now, when they test the water, they just test the beach?
They do just test the beach, so the high levels of bacteria may not be further in the
At the
lake
boat landing
or any other areas. Lynn Grove had tested high initially, and at the last test was at regular levels. So the private properties on Northwood Lake may not be affected, but it is the public beach area. And I only have two other final items of business under my report. The town clerk tax collector is asking that you extend Judy Peace's contract for another, I believe it's a month-long contract, so another month. That would be until August 19th. That would cover,
Well, we have the issue where she's thought on.
Dolores should be coming back next week. She'll have a couple weeks to train. Savannah's going out on vacation in the last week of July, first week of August. So it would be helpful if we had Judy to cover for that time frame.
Judy's willing to do it.
Judy is willing to do it. She would like to be done after this, though.
You want to be done for 4th of July. The retirement that keeps on going.
So if you would like to extend the contract, I would need a motion.
I'll make a motion to extend the contract to, what's the date you wanna go for?
August 19th.
August 19th.
Second that?
Discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
And the final item that I have is I had sent you a list of properties that I've done some research on, town properties, town-owned properties. There are I have 12 properties that I would like the selectmen's permission to offer up to abutters through the bid process that the town has established. These are non-conforming lots, so the town's policy is to only offer them up to abutters for merging. 5 of the, what did I say, 11? 5 of the properties do have abutters that are interested in participating in this process.
Was this included in our packet?
It was included in your packet.
The
Maybe
ones that you highlighted,
last-
correct?
Right, maybe the last document in the packet.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Okay. Thanks.
Huh? Work on it. Thank you. Like constructive criticism. Thanks.
So you just want to offer these up to the abutters?
Yes, the highlighted ones I'd like to offer up to abutters. I am still doing.
These are small parcels, right?
Correct. All of them are non-conforming. Many of them are vacant or have buildings or structures on them that are in poor condition. Like I said, 5 of the properties do have abutters that are interested in participating in the bid process. I'll follow the town's process as far as putting them out there to the abutters. The first property that's highlighted on the list is the Bow Lake Road. That is within the 3-year date that we took it by tax deed. The town's policy is to hold on to that for the 3-year period. The town, however, can elect to, or the selectmen can elect to offer the previous owner first right of refusal, and then if they do not respond, then put it out to abutters. Would you like me to hold on to that for the 3 years, or would you like me to put that out with this group?
Has it been held for 3 years?
No, no.
I think
it
you
was-
have to hold it for 3 years.
We don't, we just have to give the previous owner
First right?
first right. However, the town's process that I found from 2004 indicates that we will hold it for 3 years. So I'd just like some direction whether you'd like me to hold it for 3 years. I did have, the reason I bring it up is I did have an abutter that is interested in it.
I'm fine with moving forward. I mean, do you need a motion?
No, I just need general direction from the board.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. And that is all that I have.
Got anything for selectmen's report?
No, just a lot of concerns with the, I talked to Kate regarding, the beach, not so much lifeguards, it's more the behavior of visitors.
Fortunately, we
Lifeguards
have
to
had some,
lifeguarding and patrolling and parenting parents, maybe.
we
that
have
sound
had some
right?
pretty poor behavior at the beaches lately.
Scott?
I'm just curious of what the status was with the old Bryant property and the, getting rid of the, root timber up there.
Yep. I have had no luck getting anybody willing to go up there and take the property, or take the,
Here's my question.
I think it'd be
kinda-
fair, but it's
Why
all
can't,
insurance.
why can't our road agent,
Mhm.
maybe I'm missing something here, we can't load those things into a dump truck and bring them to another place in town?
we can, it's just a matter of where.
So, is there anywhere,
We talked about the rec field way.
why can't we take them in the rec field and push them way up behind, over that embankment?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's over the embankment. You all would likely know better than I.
Could Charlie look into that? Could you,
There's nothing over that embankment, just, it drops like 35 feet to a stone wall.
yeah,
That's
so,
where we left it when we left.
so what's wrong with just dumping it there? Is there, is
I mean,
the
I know that
is
there's
the abutter there gonna have an issue with it?
I don't know who the abutter is. I know
It's
that
like
there's
out
a
in the middle of the
trail.
woods, is it?
Conservation land out back, isn't it?
I know that there's a trail out there. I mean, I don't know if, dropping
Check with
them,
conservation, please.
dropping them down there would, is it steep enough to roll and take out the stone wall or wind up in the trail? I mean, I've not been back there, so I'm not sure what's out there. But certainly I can have Charlie look into it. That Sherburne Road property is one that
Is on the
we have
list.
some interest in, is on the list.
Is the interest if it's clean?
Nope. No, the interest is, the individual is interested as is.
Yeah, but if it's the person it's probably the same one, I'm imagining.
Actually, one of the abutters just came in to see me today, so I have two individuals interested, one's not an abutter, so we would not be offering it to that person at this point.
Well, how many acres is Brian's property?
It's just under 2 acres, I believe.
It's a buildable lot though, right? I thought
If-
you were only putting
Yeah.
non-conforming lots on it.
It's still a non-conforming lot. Yeah. It would still, to do anything else on that property, would still need to go for variances.
I don't know I know, you might be talking to the gentleman who bought the property up behind that,
Right,
wants to clear it for a big apple orchard in there.
right.
He
So
talked
the-
about that for 5 years, I talked to him about it.
I'm thinking the same person? Possible.
Last name's out with H.
Absolutely. So we're on the same page. That's who I thought too.
Oh, no, I know what you're talking.
That's what I've heard too. All right, my turn? So I'm wondering, are we any closer to getting a plan for our ditching and for all the other roads? Or are we, as a board, are we okay with just a list and he's gonna complete it by October 1st?
I am fine with asking for a plan and actually getting a real plan. I support that.
Yep.
Well, we've been asking for it for the last 3 months and we haven't gotten one yet. This isn't like we're just asking for it today. We
Can
we
we ask
asked
for
for
tomorrow?
it. We got a plan where he just listed the roads. We went back and told him again what we wanted. He gives us a list of the roads and says, oh, they'll all be done by October 31st. Pretty sure when we asked the first time, we said, we'd like to know a rough ballpark figure of when each road was gonna be done. So it went from roads listed to roads listed, they're gonna be all done by this date, we still ain't got what we asked for. So, I mean, this goes back to, it's pretty obvious that we have a pretty bad planning problem down there. So maybe this is the beginning of getting it done. And I mean, if we're gonna keep allowing the haphazard plans to come in for us and not doing anything about it, it's not gonna change.
I agree.
You know, we've been kicking this for 3 months. How many more months are we gonna kick it? Till the ditchings are all done?
What's been done so far?
I'm not
No
sure,
idea.
to be honest.
I mean,
That's why we need a plan.
he's claiming that his road's graded,
Right.
and he's claiming that it's not. So how do we even know? We don't.
Well, can we ask him to come so we can talk to him? With the plan? Sure. Thank you.
I think to speak to, I think everybody's things is we as a board need to start holding our employee. If we're gonna truly talk about this wage study and start giving people more money, we need to hold our employees accountable in order for them to deserve that money. That's 100% on, across the board on every single employee. Not one department, not all, it's all departments.
I don't disagree with
100% across the board. I'm not talking just one department, that department, all of them. You can't ask for more money if you're not doing the job that we're asking you to do now, period.
I agree.
And I don't see how any of it's getting done that we asked for.
We need to set clear expectations.
I thought we did, but apparently we must have to hold hands. But that's all I got. Citizens Forum?
I think it's still on. Did you know it shut off? I'm still on. Is it on? I did think I shut it off. Did we turn the power?
It's dead.
That's all
I knew you would, I knew.
Hold on, number.
Okay, thanks. Do you want me to keep going?
As you're
I can only
talking.
go so far, I can't get back up again. So. Okay, I wanted to make the point a little earlier, and perhaps you guys can go back and revisit it, or part of your investigation regarding the narrow station and the warrant article. And while you're checking with the municipal association, it might be a good idea for you to check their opinion as to whether or not you can keep that $200,000. My understanding is no, because of the way the article was written.
I think you're right.
It has to go back to the general fund, so if you're going to do anything with the fire station, you're going to need to come forward with a brand new plan. I can tell you for the budget committee that enough of us were concerned with the way things have not gone, that the general mood seems to be that we want detail, we want transparency, we want a plan, we want to see the plans, none of which we saw when it came to the budget committee the last time. Particularly when you're talking the kind of money that it appears that you're talking. I had concerns early on as to whether or not, even if a bid had come in for $199,000, as to whether or not that was going to get done before winter set in, because it's so late. This needs to be started earlier, and perhaps you might want to put it out to the town as information. Gee guys, we really need to start considering the safety complex. If it's going to cost us anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 just to put an addition on one of the fire stations, it would make sense to do a full building and bond it as opposed to this. As a taxpayer, yeah, I'm upset about raising 200 grand that's going to go back into the general fund. Yeah, you can offset taxes at some point, but you still raised it. My taxes still went up. Not happy. So that would be a suggestion from me. As far as the dump stickers are concerned, if you guys really have handed out 4,000 dump stickers already, then there's a lot of them that have gone to people who don't live in town. The last time I was involved handing out dump stickers as a selectman, you got one per registration for the household, and you had to bring the registration into town hall to get it.
I agree. Now we're giving them out at the transfer station.
And we attempted that for one weekend and determined that there were too many people who did not live in town, and so we squashed it.
I agree.
So I don't know how you'll get those back.
You're not even reporting them.
You're
I
not
don't know-
recording them?
It started last year. I don't know why, it never used to be, they never used to been given out at the transfer station. Last year it was decided, well, the last time we gave them out, it was decided by the previous administrator that we were gonna start giving them out at the transfer station.
Yeah,
This
but we
year,
switched over colors, right? I used to get red and orange.
it was green, and we went from red to, I'm talking 3 years
Orange
ago.
one now.
Right. So now they're giving them out at the transfer station, and basically they're just asking for driver's license.
I got mine and I had to give my registration.
I showed Judy my driver's license downstairs. So what's the difference between showing my driver's license to Judy, showing my driver's license to... No.
It's not your driver's license, they put your license number, your like,
Your
Your license
registration,
plate number
your
on
plate
your
number.
sticker.
They're not doing that now?
I got 709 on my truck that she wrote on a piece of
My
paper.
That's the way it's supposed to be, but it's not getting done that way at the transfer station.
Oh, no, it got downstairs.
Okay, so folks,
Right, you're getting it downstairs, it's done
It's not,
differently.
okay, that's
Sorry,
right.
public comment.
The right way.
Okay, all right.
I just would like to make one more comment about the dump stickers. And it pertains to the budget committee. And that is, trash is going up, it's all over the news. There is one town that's not picking up trash anymore because it's way too expensive.
A lot of towns
because they're
aren't
not doing
recycling
recycling and what have you. Trash has always cost us a ton of money in this town, and we started to get a handle on it. If transfer station stickers are being given out like candy, then we're going to have people, how many, who knows, but we're going to have people from surrounding towns, former residents, bringing their stuff to Northwood as opposed to taking it where it's supposed to go. Who pays the bill? Me.
I agree.
You. Everybody in this room. That's got to stop. You guys need a handle on that now before you start budgeting for the next year's budget, especially for the transfer station costs and the tipping fees. Again, a suggestion. You got a lot of work to do here getting this organized. That's all the comments I'll make.
I know of at least 3 people that used to live in town that have told me they've gotten stickers in there by showing their license, because their license still says
Maybe we
Northwood.
shouldn't be passing them out at the
That
transfer
still
station.
says Northwood.
They're not writing down who's even got them. No.
No, they're giving, I know somebody that went in there and said, I need one for my other vehicle, and they handed them 2. And he only had 1 vehicle.
You have no registration on the sticker itself.
I understand
so
that.
She could go in and get a sticker and.
I understand.
And give it to me.
I understand.
Or give it to her.
Oh, I completely understand, but
Well, can't we stop that from happening now? Can't we say?
yeah, they
now
shouldn't
you
even
have
be
to
giving
come
them
in?
out down there.
They should be,
If they can't give them out, if they can't follow the simple instructions of everything we need to be done by them to give them out, then they shouldn't give them out down there.
we need to stop the transfer station from passing out stickers.
Unless they're gonna follow the
And
pol-
what does your brochure say about getting dump stickers? Because at one time, that was all included and they had to go to the.
It's the way it's always been. It got switched a lot, not this
Does it still say
time,
that?
not this
Before
time,
we have that printed,
but the previous time it got changed to giving them out at the transfer station. Shortly after,
You don't even know who has what number, so 311 is an issue, you don't even know who it belongs to.
no, you have no idea. No idea. No clue.
Just a general question, the guy who lives in Mass, who has a camp on Northwood Lake and pays taxes, he can get one, right?
Yes.
Right.
So when he comes up on a Thursday to spend the weekend, he brings all his garbage up from Massachusetts, because he's always, he can throw it in our dump. I mean,
That has always been.
It's always been an issue.
you know?
There's nothing you can do
But
though.
some of those people that have lakefront property,
There's
that
nothing
you
you
have
can
as
do.
a camp, pay more taxes than some of them.
Exactly.
So we can't really, we're gonna say, oh, I'm paying
Does it say
$20,000 a year in taxes and you.
No, I didn't know, if you're a taxpayer, you can get a dump sticker. You don't have to live in Vermont or...
Or does it tell you?
Any more?
No, it says stickers are for owners of land only.
Also, do I have to give them to people that own trailers? Did you just say owners of land only?
Yeah. That's what
So-
this says.
so if you're renting a
You
lot,
get a dump sticker.
It has to own the property under.
right, but the way it's worded though just says land.
Perhaps we should change that to property?
Yes.
Yes.
They own property.
But I process all the checks that come through the transfer station.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of contractors that dump every week. You can't tell me all that stuff comes from Norfolk.
And we had that problem 20
They-
years ago.
okay,
with a particular building.
there's,
We shut them off and they could not.
It shouldn't even be bringing them in
The
there.
contractors aren't supposed to go in there.
No, they have to take it over to.
Rochester. That's what's supposed to happen.
Directly. They're not supposed to be bringing it in.
Just like the pump
And they are, you're saying?
I see the checks, the same checks every week. How, you know, in their contractor checks, so.
Well,
you
then
know.
we just need to have our attendance.
What do you mean the same checks every week?
Same people.
Like they're paying the fee.
Every week when I do the deposit, it's the same names.
Are they paying a fee to dump this stuff? What are they dumping?
I don't know.
Construction debris.
It just says,
But what happens,
But if they're paying, okay, but I mean hypothetically, if they're paying the fee, that should cover our cost.
Not necessarily if we're not charging them correctly.
right,
Well, I've been saying for years to get a scale down there, but nobody wants to get the scale down.
$100,000. Put it in the
You don't
CIP.
need- You don't need
Put it in the CIP.
$100,000. There was a way to do it without spending $100,000.
How?
There's other options of scales than just the scale
Did it
thing.
say where to get the sticker? Kate?
It does not. I
All
can,
right.
Can we add
so
that?
any more
Yep.
public comment? Any more?
Just to keep, bringing it up, the backhoe is the highway department, not the dumps. So that's something's gotta be done about that. 2 Mondays ago, I went to the transfer station dump, whatever, to throw my garbage in the bin on the left-hand side. Full. Throw it in the furniture.
First time in a while.
I've done it probably 2 or 3 times in the last couple months. Had to throw it in the furniture. So I'm throwing all my garbage into the furniture bin that you just charged somebody to get rid of that couch or that chair and had to pay to put that chair in that thing. And I'm just throwing all my garbage in it, and they're dumping it in the same spot in Turnkey.
Absolutely.
I was over working in Rochester the other day, and I saw both trucks go in, and I could see where they were dumping. He came back and got the garbage and the plastic, and they dump it in the same.
We're not recycling it.
So why don't we? So it's just cost effective to haul 2 containers.
No, it's more of an eyesight thing. If people start seeing us throw trash into plastic, they're gonna freak out. Even though, like you said, it's going in the same spot, but they're not seeing it. I tried to explain this to the recycling committee a million times, and they didn't want to listen.
And
So
then
we're recycling, but we're not recycling?
Yeah, it's all for the eye. There's no money in it. It actually it will cost.
they say
Turnkey
the
more
plastic
to
and the
recycle it.
garbage together takes up more space, so they separate it. But it is going over the same bank. over
Right. So in
Rochester.
other words, what he's saying is, if you're going in, for instance, correct me if I'm wrong, it's full, right? The garbage is full. Plastic is half full. They're going in the same spot. Instead of putting the garbage in the furniture, why not just throw it in with the plastic? Is that what you're saying?
But you're charging somebody like 30. I don't know what the cost is. Get rid of a chair to fill up that dumpster, and we come in and throw our regular household garbage in that same dumpster and fill it up.
My question is are they using the new containers? Because I asked Joe if he had had any issues with overflow when the trash, and he said no. So this is actually news to me because we got a bigger container to hopefully
Like 2 weeks
do away
ago,
with
I
that.
threw my garbage into the
No,
furniture. Yeah.
I'd asked him, and he said he hadn't had to do it since we've gotten a new container. So this is new to me.
And then, I don't know, like I said, going back to that June 19th meeting, you said there was for the hiring, you had 2 people that wanted the job seasonal. Is that, I don't know how old they are, but is that somebody you could get on file for plowing in the wintertime? Because we always have, we never have enough guys plowing in the wintertime.
neither of these are plow
Okay.
guys.
And then I heard Mr. Breyer talk about, Spike's woodlot up there, trying to get somebody to clean it up. Now there's a pile of stone dumped up in his driveway.
Where's this stuff come from?
There's a whole pile of crushed stone up there, 1.5 inch stone,
Stuff
Where'd it
come
come
from?
dumped at Spike's house.
Did
Right up-
somebody just dump it there?
It's
No idea. First
it's
I've heard of it.
probably a little bit bigger than a 6-wheel,
Stone Fairy King?
but going back to
Is it
the
nice? Maybe I'll go up and grab it.
going back to the road agent, when all that wood that got dumped in there,
Shouldn't have been dumped there in the first place.
Shouldn't have been dumped there in the first place.
exactly. So now we're gonna pay
Goes back to
Charlie
the
and
planning
Pete
of the road agent
in the
again.
backhoe to go up there and reload it, and then put it back in the ball field where that is supposed to be extended someday for a softball field down that corner. So, something to think about there. And then one more, the bridge on Pender Hill, is that happening? The red listed bridge?
Panda?
Oh, Bow Lake Road or?
It's supposed to be. We're
They've
working
been
on it.
down there doing
Engineering.
engineering and doing
Okay.
measurements. They
I
won't
don't think
be
you're gonna
actually-
see break ground till 2019, correct?
They can't
Correct.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's,
Right.
you're just getting the ground.
There's a
running.
plan, it's just, I don't think you can.
It's moving, it's in an engineering phase right now, but we can't do the work this year, we have to wait till 2019.
And You said they've started ditching Dennis Pond Road, they're gonna do Sherburne Hill Road, and all the ditching will be done by October 31st?
October 1st, I think he said. Oh, no,
Oh,
I'm
not,
talking about,
not the port.
what I had asked is all the other roads that we didn't bid out,
That we're doing.
that we're doing. Because we didn't bid out all the roads, we
did-
only bid
yeah,
out Dennis Pond and Sherburne Hill.
Yeah, that's gonna be done before they pave it.
Right.
That's not being done by Charlie, we brought
No,
contract.
no, so the Halls Construction or whatever they're doing Sherburne Hill, ditching on Sherburne Hill?
Yes, they're doing Sherburne Hill and Dennis Pond.
Did they give you a deadline for Sherburne Hill?
Not that I'm aware of.
They have to do it before they pave it.
Right.
And Northwood has established no pavement after October 15th, right? Because we got into the ice jam on Dennis Pond 3 or 4 years ago that we,
No, this is gonna be done,
This is gonna be
This is the
done.
summer, isn't it?
yeah, it's gonna be done
but
likely.
Northwood still holds that policy of no paving after October 15th.
That can be, I mean, I'm just,
That was voted in a couple of years ago.
but I'm just telling you, the Board of Selectmen, I'm not saying we plan on doing it, that policy can be reset by another Board of Selectmen.
Okay, I'm just,
But right now.
but as of right now, that policy
that
is
the
still,
policy. And I believe it was October 31st.
and, okay, happy with October?
We talked,
The end of October?
yeah.
And like you said, going back to job performance, I was in the military for 22 years. Every month, every couple months, I sat all my guys down and gave them a, I don't know, performance interview. Who does the road agents? Who does, who does,
Road agent
road
is
agent is
elected, the
elected.
citizens.
so he doesn't have anybody that sits him down and says,
He's elected.
And
Okay,
guess,
okay.
and guess who does the highway departments? The road agent.
so,
So the road agent is his own boss.
Well, the town don't want a public works, let's not even get into that because.
and then the last thing about the, all the lifeguards, kids are jumping off the bridge. All these kids who show up during the day, they have, because that orange sticker I got in my truck gets me to the beaches and to the dump, right?
Right, yes.
Of all these cars that are going down to Venice Bridge or Northwood or Mary Walden, are they all having stickers on their cars? Because if they don't have a sticker on their car, I would say very politely, you
They're
need to leave
supposed to.
right then and there.
They're supposed to have a sticker.
And what communication does the little lifeguard have? Her own personal cell phone to call back to you or the...
My understanding is they have a phone down there and they call the PD.
Okay. There's a town phone to call on each beach?
Do they use their own cell phones or we give them a phone? I don't recall.
We don't give them a phone.
Oh, they're using their
no.
own phone.
So they're trying to enforce the rules on their own personal cell phones, basically.
Basically.
If they
Maybe
need
we,
to call the police, they will do it on their own personal cell phones, yep.
Anything else?
like I said, just, that
Take care of the problem.
Spike's woodlot, and like I said, the wood should have never been there, and like I said, now we got a load of stone up there, so until somebody's held responsible, been like that 20 years.
You have no idea how
I think
this
it's
started
actually
out
been
there?
longer, but that's okay.
I mean, come with a dump truck, it's a
All right, anybody else?
load.
Betsy, you got anything? No? All right, so we're gonna go into non-public, I think.
Wait, anyone?
We need to go into non-public and decide who we're gonna hire.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91, which paragraph?
B, freebie.
B. Somebody go second?
I'll second that.
Roll call,
Sorry.
Donald Hush and I.
Yes, Scott Breyer.
We're now in non-public.
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public.
Second that.
Roll call, Donald Hush and I.
Scott Breyer, aye.
Beth Boudreaux, aye.
I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Call for the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd like to make a motion to allow Kate LaFawn to be able to use the credit card.
Second that.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I just want the ability so that the background checks can actually get run up to the state and she's got with the inability to get a check in a timely manner, that we can use that credit card to pay for the background checks.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
If it's okay, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for adjournment.
Sure. Roll call. Donald Hutchins, aye.
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 We're now adjourned.